When we zoom in on a single period in a swap and look at it between accrual start for one period and in the other end the accrual end. So think of this as a swap with a semi-annual frequency on the floating leg. So this could be the period describing a single period of the floating leg. We would know that a couple of business days prior to the accrual start, we would have a reset date or the fixing date of the underlying floating rate. And we would know that that rate would apply for this period and be paid out towards the end. For some swaps and in some markets, there is in fact sometimes a gap between the accrual end and the pay date. Most often they coincide, but they can differ sometimes. On the reset date, we look into the market to look at a 6-month fixing. So from the notation before, we look at the reset date for a 6-month rate that actually starts exactly on the same accrual start date, but ends at the accrual start plus 6 months. So what may surprise you is that this rate being fixed here on the reset date for a period spanning the same date as accrual start plus 6 months may sometimes turn out not to produce the same end date for the fixing as for the swap. So there may sometimes be a difference between these two. The reason behind that is that we constructed, as you may recall, the sequence of all dates from the same anchor. So a particular period may not exactly correspond to what you would get if you started at the beginning of the period and added the same length. So that's a little bit surprising, and that's an important detail. But nevertheless, on the reset date, you look into the market to look for a fixing with the appropriate tenor, and you just apply that irrespective of the end date of the rate in the market, not necessarily coinciding with the period of the swap.